ik dank je voor van Friedland. Het is executie.
Why does Verstappen continue to bicker with his race engineer? Does Verstappen's radio outburst add some spicy drama to the Formula One races? Or are they just for entertainment? The two-time world champion Max Verstappen has been collaborating with race engineer Gianpiero Lambiase since his introduction to Red Bull in 2016. This partnership has proved to be incredibly successful, as Lambiase has played a pivotal role in guiding Verstappen to all 35 of his Grand Prix wins. But some heads were turned when Max Verstappen secured his 10th win of the season at the Belgian Grand Prix. The first bickering was when Verstappen nearly got knocked out of Q2 on Friday. The headlines were still dominated by his heated radio exchanges with race engineer Gianpiero (GP) Lambiase. Following a sweary radio outburst during Friday's qualifying, Max Verstappen issued an apology for his actions. But even after 8 years of relationship, Lambiase's response was, "I'm just getting used to it." But despite the apology, Verstappen and Gianpiero Lambiase found themselves in disagreement once again during Sunday's race. The intense conversation between Max Verstappen and his race engineer Lambiase resurfaced 2 days later when Verstappen was chasing his Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez, who pitted from the lead during the race. Verstappen was forced to start from 6th on the grid due to a grid penalty. The challenges posed by limited practice sessions due to the heavy rains were also present. But despite all this, Max Verstappen did exhibit an unstoppable performance in the Belgian Grand Prix. The remarkable 22-second margin he achieved over his teammate Sergio Perez at the end of the race truly shows the unparalleled dominance of their car and driver combination. This level of supremacy hasn't been witnessed at Red Bull since the era of Sebastian Vettel's reign. Throughout the race, Max Verstappen encountered a few notable challenges, particularly a nerve-wracking near miss at Eau Rouge Raidillon. Despite the rain pouring down and making the track slippery, he did manage to regain control after losing the rear of his RB19. This intense moment sparked a series of not-so-pleasant exchanges between Verstappen and his engineer, Lambiase, who is known as GP by the team. During the race, Verstappen received the advice, "Use your head," twice to manage the pace at the front. Later, Lambiase scolded him for wearing out his tires while attempting to set the fastest lap after the final pit stop. Lambiase said, "This tire had reasonable deg in the first stint. I'd ask you to use your head a bit more." Now, we're not sure if use your head is some sort of code to exchange information between a driver and his engineer. Or that can be GP sarcastically talking to Verstappen about being more careful. Verstappen asked, "Are we doing it or what?" But Lambiase told his driver to just follow the instructions. Not willing to back down, Verstappen wanted to know if both he and Perez were doing it. That is, he wanted to know what his teammates' options were. But Lambiase coldly told him to just trust him and follow his instructions. When Verstappen humorously suggested pit stop training due to his impressive pace of 22 seconds, Lambiase politely shut down the request with a firm, "No, not this time." This disagreement occurred following an incident where Verstappen had previously issued an apology for an X-rated rant directed at Lambiase. This heated outburst happened after he barely managed to advance to the second qualifying session earlier in the weekend. The emotions from that incident seemed to linger and contribute to the tense exchanges during the race. Obviously, the intensity of the situation and the pressure on the track might have contributed to the emotional exchanges between the two. Heated exchanges between drivers and their engineers over team radio are not uncommon during high-pressure races. The intense physical demands, with high heart rates and short breaths between corners, can lead to heightened emotions and tension in their communication. After hearing this radio exchange, Verstappen's fans on social media had much to share their opinion on this bickering. While some labeled it as rude and unbelievable, others thought the conversation was brilliant and funny. When asked about ignoring orders, Verstappen replied, "I did slow down. This track is super hard on the tires, so you don't want to do any unnecessary things. Despite the intense radio exchanges and weather setbacks, Max Verstappen displayed complete dominance on the track and secured his 8th consecutive win for Red Bull. After the race, he clarified that all was fine between him and Lambiase, asserting that they had a very good relationship. Later, Verstappen jokingly remarked that the seriousness of the radio exchanges with Lambiase is probably 50-50. While they have their intense moments during races, he emphasized that their bond extends beyond merely understanding race strategy. When questioned about whether their relationship resembled that of two brothers, this is what he had to answer. Probably more like a marriage. Sometimes we are screaming and shouting a little bit at each other, but it's good. We just have to determine who is the husband and who is the wife. This strong connection contributes significantly to their success on the track and adds an extra dimension to their collaboration as a driver-engineer duo. We know each other very well, and we have a very good relationship, he explained. I find it always a really important part of your performance. Not only your race engineer, but everyone very close around you. Over the years, we build up much more of a relationship. You know each other much better. For sure, if he would be removed, that's definitely not ideal at all. When you combine Verstappen's strong bond with Lambiase, the superior car design, and the exceptional team's slick operation that results in sub-2-second pit stops at Red Bull, it becomes evident how his immense talent is being fully utilized. The seamless coordination between the driver, engineer, and the team's overall performance creates an environment where Verstappen's abilities can shine at their best. In the post-race remarks, Red Bull team boss Christian Horner downplayed the radio exchanges and expressed confidence in Gianpiero Lambiase's ability to handle Max Verstappen's strong character. Horner said that their relationship might be intense at times, but he emphasized Lambiase's expertise in managing the situation. GP and Max have been together since the first race that Max stepped into the car, Horner said. Max is a demanding customer, and you've got to be a strong character to deal with that. In his opinion, GP is the only one who can handle Max. To race engineer Max Verstappen, you've got to have strength of character, because he is one tough customer, and many race engineers would crumble under that pressure, he said. Many race engineers would crumble under that pressure, and GP has got the strength of character to deal with that. He deals with him firmly but fairly, and there's a great respect between the two of them. That comes out of a mutual trust that you must have with an engineer. Horner also addressed his concern over the conversation being listened to by 200 million people. In modern F1, every radio conversation can be heard by anyone, and the juiciest one will make its way to social media. When the exchange between the driver and engineer gets heated in other teams like Mercedes, the team manager or someone of higher authority had to intervene to equal things out. But for Verstappen, a change in Lambiase's tone is enough to stop. GP is the highest authority in the Red Bull team, as far as Verstappen cares. It's crystal clear that the bond between Verstappen and Lambiase is too strong, and the level of trust is too high. What do you guys look forward to in the next race for this dynamic duo? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys soon.